in the tournament. Over to the hall.
Orange versus TongFu.
Welcome back to Benaroya Hall. It's time for Game 2. Orange Esports versus TongFu. TongFu trailing 0-1. One game away from finishing at 4th place at the International 3. Orange Esports one game away from a much anticipated potential rematch with Na'Vi.
And I think if Na'Vi is waiting to see who they're facing up against, they do not want to face up against Orange Esports. All-time matches up very well against Na'Vi, and I think Orange is, the way that they've been playing this today, you said they were evolving. I mean, they're evolving fast.
We haven't even seen their final form yet. That's the scary part. It could be coming now. And on that note, we'll introduce the draft. TongFu, respect to Extinct. I did notice the teams that remain in the International 3, if you actually look at them, Alliance, Na'Vi, Orange, TongFu, and even IG before they got knocked out, all these teams play magnificent Chen. And Chen, we saw Na'Vi banning it, I think, in one game against the Alliance. It was either I believe it was game 2. We've seen TongFu now losing to Orange's Chen. They ban it out. Chen is, I think, the #1 hero on the rise as of late. And Extinct gets respect here. Chen is banned out.
Yeah, Chen, well, they didn't give him the respect for the Visage. And I'm somewhat surprised that they did not actually go for it. I just say give him a Batrider. You take a Visage because of what, 78% win rate?
Extinct's Chen wins games. But when you see Batrider, you kind of froth at the mouth, right? This hero, rarely does he slip through, and it's something where, that's why we see Alliance getting bad a lot, because teams respect Admiral Bulldog's own Druid, they respect their ability to play Wisp, and so often those heroes get banned out, then it leaves Batrider and company in the pool. So Orange Esports, they'll start game number 2 with a different draft. It's a Batrider first pick, Darkseer Visage, the quick reply from TongFu, and then Orange will respond with a Nyx Assassin. So great pick-off potential for Orange. They are a lineup that wants to hit level 6 on these heroes as quickly as possible. TongFu, Visage, and Darkseer, very strong laning stage for them.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin is just perfect for this secondary pick because it's a hero that's really good against Batrider. You pop the Spike Carapace and walk under the fire, and Batrider gets stunned for quite a bit. Really, really good against both Darkseer and Visage. These heroes are very mono-dependent. In a long team fight, Darkseer needs to cast multiple spells. His spells are very costly to start with, so you mono burn him once or twice, he's done. Visage, obviously, we know that he has a 4-second spammable soul assumption, so mono burning Visage is also good. So I think this is a perfect second pick for Orange Esports. Meanwhile, back to the bans here. A little bit of respect here, banning out Shadow Friend for Mushi. And there's a Spectre being banned out. And I think this is very smart because you do not want to give away Spectre and Darkseer. A lot of teams from the East really like to turn to Spectre, Darkseer when things are...
And I think TongFu, oh, here we go. Anti-Mage comes out from TongFu. They banned out Shadow Demon as their second ban, and this is the new and revised draft system in the current version, where if you're second pick here, you get the first pick in the second stage, you get to make a ban and then make a pick. So they ban out Shadow Demon, they immediately snap up AM. How does Orange respond?
I mean, I don't think they have seen enough from TongFu to really angle it one way for another. Now, traditionally, Anti-Mage were very weak to early game pushing strategy, so maybe that's something they could do against TongFu. But at the same time, Orange like to fight kind of frequently, and I think Anti-Mage is one of the best carry for that kind of playstyle. He's a hero that when things look a little bit awkward or a little bit dangerous, you could just blink away and TP to a different lane. So I think this is a very good defensive pick early on against Orange's playstyle. Let's see if Orange thinks they need to pick up a couple, let's say, hexes. Maybe you go for a Lion. We haven't seen them play in the past. Shadow Shaman, these are natural hex carriers. Obviously, you could go for hex buyers like your Nature's Prophet or your Puck and things of that as well. Another
option for Orange, and we saw this from them, I think if you go back a month, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months ago, they were running a lot of offensive Windrunner tri-lanes. Ohio as the farmer, and the main reason that you want to run these tri-lanes in the main situation where you run them is against a melee carry, usually a hard carry that you want to shut down early. So don't rule it out of the question that Ohio could go aggressive Chine with the Nyx +1, but they'll go for a waiver here, very elusive. And you look at TongFu, and they actually don't have a single reliable stun yet.
At least not yet, right?
Not yet.
Basher on Anti-Mage is, I guess, the most reliable one, and that one's not going to come for a long time. But going back to your offensive tri-lane, you could definitely do it with the Weaver as well. And that power of his offensive tri-lane is you pick a very hard-to-kill hero, like Weaver, and even when your support roam off that tri-lane, he can still do things. He can still farm. He can still harass Anti-Mage. And I personally think that in this tournament, Orange has the best kind of your 4-5 support. They are just so good at roaming. They're so good at creating space for all three of their carries. I know Mushi, Ohio, KYXY, they get all the limelight, but the support players, let's forget about them because they are a very big part of Orange's successes so far.
Yeah, these two are definitely the sensations of Malaysia as of late. We'll see where Orange go because the other option for them is to go aggressive tri-lane but not run the Weaver there. So they could run a Weaver safe lane for perhaps for Mushi, a Bat Rider mid for KYXY, and then go with the Nyx Windrunner +1. TongFu do a Visage, and it's always dangerous to go aggressive tri-lane against Visage, but I mean, if you get something like a Keeper of the Light, then suddenly tri-lane might be yours for the taking. So TongFu, they'll back off and they'll go for a Rubik. We've really seen this support rise as a response to Weaver in particular.
Yeah. At the same time, though, when you pick up support Visage and support Rubik, TongFu's lanes are done. Like, once you lock those lanes, they cannot rotate because what you're going to gank with the Visage and Rubik, they're not traditionally a Greek gankers. Anti-Mage, he's stuck on that one lane. Darkseer is stuck on the other lane. So TongFu, they got to make sure that whatever they last pick up here, the lanes have to be at least good enough to survive against Orange, because if you don't have good lanes, there's no second choice. There's no second option. Here comes a Bane, which is a lockdown hero designed to pick against Anti-Mage.
Yeah, they have a lot of single target lockdown now. You've got your Lasso, your Fiend's Grip, and as well as, of course, everything that Nyx Assassin brings to bear. Very elusive lineup, pretty survivable supports. Nyx Assassin has Carapace, Bane has the Brain Set. They're not easy to blow up, and they've got a lot of ways to run if Anti-Mage jumps them. Now TongFu will ban out a Nature's Prophet. This has been one of Ohio's go-tos in this tournament. He plays a much more kind of a martyr Nature's Prophet. He'll sit in the off lane. We've seen Bulldog do this and quite a few others where you go there and you block the first 2 camps, but then Bulldog goes away around 1 minute and goes to jungle, gets a really fast Midas. Ohio, on the other hand, will stay there much longer. But the Prophet's ban, now RNG Sports banning out the Magnus. They don't want TongFu to have massive late game superiority, so they remove that from the pool. Where are these two teams going with their last 2 picks?
I think TongFu would need to pick up a defensive mid that could transition to pretty gank. So I think Puck is a good one, but they're going to go with Dragon Knight. And again, it goes back to what I said. You got to make sure you do okay in your lanes. And what does Dragon Knight do against Bat Rider mid?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. I mean, he's going to try to CS, but Napalm's going to be very... I mean, I guess they're expecting Bat Rider to not go mid, but if you're Orange Esport, why not? Why not just send that Bat Rider mid?
Don't be surprised if Mushi pulls a Queen of Pain out of his hat either. Because if Orange want to be a little more greedy and passive in their laning stage, they could run Bat Rider jungle, Weaver defensive tri-lane, secure level 6 on Nyx and Bane, and then Queen of Pain mid against Dragon Knight. Mushi's Queen of Pain especially, and on the Radiant side, very hard for the Dragon Knight to deal with.
Yeah, but Dragon Knight is going to be a very, very important kind of lockdown hero. Because every 8 seconds there's a Dragon Tail that's a reliable stun, good against your Weaver, good against your Bane, coming out from long range. So it's a hero that perhaps not so good in lane, but once you exit out of the lane stage, he doesn't really need that much item to provide that lockdown. Just ultimate and stun, ultimate and stun. So I think it's an okay pick, but I'm just worried, very, very worried about TongFu's lanes. And here comes a Doom Breeder out of Orange East. Is Orange like the thieves of TI3? Because they're stealing everybody's picks.
Yeah, I talked to Extinct actually, and he said they had been running Ursa before they played Liquid, but they lose to Ursa's Liquid, then they bust it out and they start winning games.
And of course, TongFu loves their Doom, so now they pick it against TongFu. So
let's see. And Doom, Doom is one of the best heroes to deal with Anti-Mage. If you Doom him, he can't do anything for a very long time.
Now, he's only good until a certain point, because if you go really deep into the late game, you Doom the Anti-Mage, you kill the Anti-Mage, and he says, okay, I buy back. And suddenly you have a hero that just doesn't do much.
And on that note, game 2 of this best of 3 about to get underway. RNG Sports leading 1-0, but TongFu looking to retaliate and force a decisive game 3. Winner moves on to play Na'Vi, and winner of that moves on to the grand finals of the International 3 to play the Alliance, yet to drop a set on the main stage. Here we go.
Well, it's going to be a Mushi Doom, so I haven't seen him actually play the hero just yet, but we'll talk about that later.
Mushi
Ohio
Doom.
Playing the Bat Rider, Mushi on Doom, Extinct on Nyx Assassin, KYXY on Weaver, and last but not least, Net on Bane Elemental.
RNG Sports, tons of lockdown on the side of TongFu. You've got the boys that don't want to be locked down. King J, the Darkseer, leading will be Moo on the Dragon Knight, probably heading towards the mid-roll, rushing a bottle. How? Poor Man Shield pulled some regen as well, playing the Anti-Mage. Banana, your Rubik, and last but not least, it's Song Sheng on the ever-impressive Visage.
And again, we kind of predicted during the draft that we are going to see that offensive tri-lane here coming out from Orange Esport. Not really designed to get kills, but really mostly designed to make sure you have good rotation, good ganks, and more importantly, when those rotations come, KYXY on that carry Weaver is still going to get something done. I mean, can TongFu find that next level? Because Because if they could predict this and say, you know what, let's offensive trialing our anti-mage, despite how awkward it sounds, it actually will work against the Orange Esport.
Yeah, it could definitely work. The thing is, Orange has not defended their own jungle. The camp is not blocked. They've got great vision near the pole camp as well. If Orange decide to deward, we probably will just see the Darkseer offlane. That's sort of the safe, stable way to play it. And it looks like that's how TongFu want to play it. Hao heading towards the top lane. Very defensive item build from him. So it's going to be a defensive trialing Rubik Visage anti-mage against an Orange Esports aggressive trialing Weaver, Bane, as well as Extinct Nyx Assassin. Early on, they're going to find Hao. They've got an Impaled DD for KYXY. Well, the lane for TongFu just got quite a bit more difficult.
I mean, KYXY is going to get the first 4 creeps. He's going to deny a ton of it. And of course, if TongFu wants to take a fight under that duration of DD, that will be a very, very bad choice.
They're actually going to spot TongFu rotating through the jungle, and Banana does have a bit of low base move speed compared to the Bane, but Orange Esports not going to directly try and force a fight. TongFu, they'll take the high road. They'll take the defensive path. They could block their own spawn here if they're not careful. It's 30 seconds and Sentry Ward placed. No creeps there. There will be creeps here. Advantage in that regard definitely to Orange. Now Hao into the lane. So our other lanes will be an Ohio Batrider mid against Moose, DK. Ohio, for a rare game, not heading to the off lane, or the side lane rather, and that will leave Mushi on the safe lane Doom.
This is actually a pretty good matchup against Darkseer. If Darkseer decides to go Iron Shell and a creep wave and walks at you, you just eat that Iron Shell creep wave and you'd be like, okay, we could lane it a little bit more normally. So I think King J somewhat forced you a creep skip. Now, of course, King J could always draw these creeps into a jungle and start farm there, but both jungle camp blocked off.
I do want to point out, yeah, they've blocked off the big camp here. So Mushi, perhaps TongFu anticipating a solo safe lane Doom. Mushi can't eat a big creep. He won't get that early HP regen from a Satyr or anything else like the crit from the Alpha Wolf. And he's not using Devour. He wants to secure a creep. He doesn't have vision in his own jungle, so he doesn't know that all these camps are blocked. He's about to find out, though. Here, there is an Alpha Wolf, so he could get something decent, but when you're running a Doom, and when it's a Mushi Doom, you expect him to get quite a bit of farm. Not using Devour means you're not getting extra gold.
Yeah, he should just wait till level 3. No, he used it and getting to level 3, and, well, he's now leveling up Scourge Turf instead. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting adjustment to skill build, and on that note, mid lane, Ohio really diving deep for Moose. 6 sticky Napalm stacks up, trying to get in range for a Dragon Tail. He barely gets it off. The Napalm stacks keep on flying. If he didn't get that tail in time, could have been our first blood. Close, but no cigar.
It's so awkward when you have 6 stacks and you turn around very slowly, walk up to melee range, get a stun, and then turn around very slowly, and then walk away. He barely made it out alive there, but I mean, those plays, if there was a flame break, he was definitely dead.
Yeah, so I'm talking more about Mushi's skill build here. When you level up Scorched Earth, the cooldown goes down, the duration goes up, and it's going to heal you more. So when creeps are constantly hitting you under tower, this means he'll be a lot more sustainable in the lane. It's a pretty interesting adjustment for Mushi.
Yeah, he's also not making as much gold, though, because Devour is not being leveled up.
Yeah, he's starting to use it now. The Darkseer continuing to creep skip, not really in the lane. Now King J says, now I'm going to turn up the heat. I'm going to pressure you head on. And off the bat, double Ion Shell online. Mushi driven off the lane a bit, but top lane, I want to keep an eye on this one, because shutting down the Anti-Mage's farm when you aggressive trialing against him is the priority. And right now, this Anti-Mage is not being denied. Hao is farming just as well, in fact better, than the offlane Weaver, but with some creeps here, it's very close. So looks like KYXY pretty much even, and that's got to be clearly an advantage to TongFu.
Yeah, that's really the difference of having Windrunner generally ran this way as an offensive trialing as opposed to a Weaver. Windrunner has a lot better animation because Bane's right now is the longest range here on the lane, and here we go, a little bit of harass coming towards
see a lift, Nat. There's a blink in from Hao, gets impaled, that clips too. Hao though, able to run KYXY under a sentry, he's dropping fast, he's done! TongFu with the first blood! Orange Esports not ready for the sentry ward in the jungle. And great play from TongFu.
I think with that kill, you just have to abandon this lane. Or maybe they're going to keep at it for a bit because the lane is not really designed to kill, but they definitely have not stopped Anti-Mage's farm. So let's see how Orange adjusts this. Is Orange in the past, when they play well in the early game, they just steamroll and win the game. Can this team kind of play a little bit from behind early on and come back? Because that's something that you need to do against Na'Vi. That's something you definitely need to do against Alliance.
Yeah, both of these teams, Alliance and Na'Vi, not only winning games, but usually winning them very quickly. And now, Mushi, well, he's still farming bottom lane. They're getting decent farm on all 3 of their cores. Pretty even with TongFu. They've got plenty of mid-game ganking power, and it's not that Orange can't go lane. And now, we'll see some pressure Mushi. I mean, you look at this lineup, Doom is a pretty scary late-game hero, and Doom is one of the best abilities against any single carry. But Orange losing that lane early, it looks like they are going to abandon it. So Tri-lane no longer going, and where do they go from here? Do they put Mushi in the jungle and Weaver bottom lane? What do you think?
No, they put the Weaver mid because it's still a very easy matchup against Mu, and you just send your Batrider in the jungle. Now, obviously, the Batrider is dealing with 2 camps that is still warded up, and it will be warded up for about a minute more or so. So he's going to try to napalm stack, but I mean, when your Batrider was dominating mid so hard, and the fact that he's now have to kind of give the lane to the Weaver, Dragon Knight's happy. So winning the top lane is actually a huge deal for TongFu because it basically means that mid gets an easier time, and bot well, stays relatively the same.
Yeah, in the mid game, I think RNG Sports supports could do a lot of work. Net does need his level 6. You look at Extinct, the same for him. And their levels aren't really there. For the time being, parked behind KYXY mid. Seems like they're worried about a smoke gank from TongFu. They do have an observer top. It's about to die. But there's no smoke gank forthcoming. TongFu are saying, hey, great, we want our tri-lane. Let's get level 6.
Yeah, that's all they want right now. They are playing defensive, you know, kind of your standard 4 protect 1, but they still got 3 core. Back in the middle here, you see Mu is actually taking offense here against KYXY. KYXY is quite low in HP, so I mean, a stun, a couple of right click, and a good flame breath might actually get the kill if there's a little bit of good early game harass, which he's trying to get those right clicks in.
Yeah, we're going to see an Observer and a Sentry going down here for Net. Again, pretty worried about the smoke gank. Nope, maybe just an Observer. Waiting perhaps for the 6-minute rune. May do an Ancient stack before going towards it. And now we just watch RNG Sports' very passive laning stage. And you know, the one reason it concerns me is because every time Orange is playing, they're just getting off to a fast start. Can they win from behind? This game is going to be a real trial for them.
I mean, that's an issue for Orange Esports. They're used to playing ahead. They're used to playing, you know, early, very, very aggressive Dota. We've seen earlier in the kind of the lower bracket matches, Orange played a game where it just kind of farm, and they're just not well accustomed to their playstyle. The supports, they're walking around, they're not really stacking the camps, they're not really pulling. They will fall behind in experience and gold. So Orange need to get some kills, or at least adjust better in the jungle.
Nobody's going greedy right now. Mushi, he's got an early buckler. It looks like he's going for a very fast mechanism. Ohio rotating towards mid, has a haste turn up, but he is spotted by a dire ward. Orange, they love their early ganks, they love their early pressure, but this one, no boots on your supports, they haven't dewarded, is not going to work. Meanwhile, Tao getting free farm top lane. The Dragon Knight actually are lead CSer for Mu, despite having the Batrider mid matchup. Now that he's up against Weaver, hell, even before, he was farming well, and he only continues from here. Everything looking hunky-dory for TongFu.
Yeah, we'll see how Orange's mid-game recovery can be. I mean, Doom, he's gone for this mech build, which is generally the standard way to play Doom, but I feel like having one of your more explosive carry player on a hero like this, on a role like this, is a little bit awkward, because if he goes, for example, Shadow Blade, you can set up a couple ganks on a Dragon Knight, more importantly, set up a couple ganks on the Anti-Mage, but what do you do with this Doom? Like, do you just push, I guess?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to see it. They don't have the Chen in this game, right? They don't have the armor on the entire team coming from Warcry. Sure, you get a mech that's decent, but they had mech, they had Arcane Boots, Warcry, and a whole lot more in those early pushes. So if they try to push early, and I don't think it's going to be that successful. And here's the other thing, Lumi, is TongFu have much better split push. Yeah. They have Dragon Knight, Anti-Mage, and Darkseer. All three of these heroes can split push very quickly and punish you if you try in group. So I don't think Orange forcing pushes early is going to be very successful.
And TongFu definitely taking a page out of Alliance play, but look at this top. Huge stack camp here by your supports, and then you see King J rotating. Oh god, that was like 4 stack camp. King J almost dying to it, but you know, a lot of levels to all 3 of these heroes over here. Visage almost hitting 6, Rubik almost hitting 6, and looks like we're going to have a little bit of rotation from Batrider, but he's so low in HP that I don't think he can really force out a kill despite having a haste rune.
Yeah, haste rune up on your bat. Ohio level 6, not farming his blink not right now, just defending the top lane push. Preps with the Firefly, stacking the Napalm. The push starting to slow down, the creep's dying pretty quickly. The tier 1 top, will it be defended is the question. Flame breaks there as well. How? Looking to leap, but KYXY's here in reserve, and TongFu dropping low will be driven back. They defend the tower. It's a 4 hero push, and they defend it with 2. But here comes round 2. Tower going to be denied.
Yeah,
KYXY nicely played, and while that's happening, Orange, they're farming a little more off the map, so a small victory here for them.
That was actually, I think that's a huge victory, because you denied 4 heroes push with 2 heroes. You got a tower denied without dropping any depth. Meanwhile, you have your support Bane trying to farm his level 6, and of course, Mushi pushing mid. So I think Orange East were a lot more efficient in that engagement. And of course, Mushi's got the mech. So if they want to play offensively, now's the time to do so.
Yeah, is the mech recipe already coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, mech's online, so will Orange look to force some fights? The other thing that's worth pointing out is TongFu this game, level 3 Fade Bolt. They've got a Darkseer who's got max Iron Shell. No points in Vacuum yet, but we'll see it soon. And a Dragon Knight with max Breathe Fire. So I think their ability to stop pushes is way stronger in the early game than it was last time.
Yeah. Net trying to get that level 6 as well, although being very much so harassed down by Iron Shell. Yeah, Orange Esport, because of that tower denied, because they are just a little bit more efficient for the past minute or so, has done quite well. So let's see when that aggression is going to come. Because when you go early game mech on a Doom, you're saying that we're going to try to push a little bit. You're not saying, hey, let's gank the anti-mage, because that's just not the skill build that you want to go for if you're trying to gank the AM.
Yeah, he is now about to devour a Centaur if he wants. He can get that access to the stomp. We'll do it now. He's got the attack speed R as well. Another decent pushing ability for him. But will they push? Extinct's only level 4. Already you look at these supports of TongFu, and they've got a level 6 Rubik, so they can steal Sakuchi, and that Sakuchi's nearly maxed. If Orange forces a fight and it goes poorly, TongFu are going to get really far ahead.
I think TongFu is quite ahead already. I mean, still has a free farm up top. 58 creep kills in 10 minutes. Not exactly perfect CS, but in a kind of early contested tri lanes, it's not too bad. He's been making up a lot of ground since the tri lane has left. And you're not stopping this Battle Fury timing from Hao. He's going to have it in about 14 minutes or so, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, TongFu very comfortable in their current position. All outer towers standing. They've got their mid-game team fight specialist in the Darkseer. They've got an early level 6 on their Rubik, but here comes Mushi. He wants to change the formula. He wants to change the discussion. Can he do it? He's invis, but mid lane they've gone in on KYXY. He's got a time lapse here. Will he get it off in time? He will, barely. Now turning it around, but Mushi, where is he? He's coming in. Doom on King J, and King J's gonna fall. Nice defensive reaction by Orange. TongFu, however, did manage to steal Sakuchi, a big steal for Banana. Orange grouped up as 5 mid, and Hao straight back to the top lane. Claymore up, still farming. Nice pick for Orange, but TongFu still in a great position.
Yeah, actually Banana had the Sakuchi already, so he used it to initiate against the Weaver. And we're going to be seeing that throughout the entire game. But the problem is, a Flame Break was so good, allowed the Weaver to time-lapse, and of course Doom just came in and cleaned up. Now Blink Dagger's up on Ohio, so suddenly, I mean, TongFu is still doing okay because you expect to not do so well when you play 3 passive farmer early on, but Orange is starting to find a little bit more momentum. And here we go, Blink on the mid lane here. Nice turnaround Dragon Tail from Mu, and that will disengage. If you get dragged there, he will stand, and that tier 1 tower will die as a result. So very, very quick reaction from Mu.
Yeah, big plays from him. And I do want to go back to that kill mid because King J dying there, the mech has been delayed since then. So Darkseer not having an early mech means that TongFu will have a harder time in these fights, but I think this is the bigger one because now the Blink Dagger's revealed. So the next time Ohio looks to go, they should probably smell it coming. Mu now grouped up with Sangsheng, both teams smoking. Orange looking like they're in the worst position. Ooh. Net's in the river, level 6, about to be caught. The flame break, not quite right. Net picks up an illusion, and now he's dead. TongFu, 2-1, gaining steam here. And all the while, the anti-mage clock is ticking. Hao getting close to a Perseverance, not far from his Battle Fury.
Not a too bad a position for Orange. I mean, they lost the support in the river. The smoke gang kind of failed, but I mean, they're not going to lose the tower from that engagement, so it's all good. Back in the top lane here, Weaver as well as Hao just going at it. Just a little bit of token harassed. What the 2 carry players want to do in this lane is make sure they get their own farm, but at the same time, make sure the other carries don't get their farm either. So you can see that they're very aggressively using their spells and trying to harass each other as a result.
So when you're TongFu, warding is super important because you're up against Doom, Blink Batrider, and now a level 6 Nyx Assassin. If Orange gets the jump, it could easily be 2 or 3 heroes dead. And on that note, a way to bypass those wards will come. But I want to point out there's a Sentry ward mid, so they'll know if Orange has a ward on their high ground. They'll know if the Nyx walks down this lane. It seems to me like TongFu are just very well equipped and prepared for any kind of gank coming their way. Nobody's showing in the bottom lane, so you can't gank that. The anti-mage top is right at his tier 1 with the tower standing. There's not going to be that many easy kills. If Orange want to force them, they're really going to have to work for it.
At the same time, you also see TongFu, a majority of the heroes is in the jungle. It's harder, it's really dangerous and really scary to say, oh, let's go actually gank the anti-mage without seeing 4 other heroes on the map, right? So because TongFu heroes are hiding, at the same time, it's going to be a little bit tougher for Orange to gank. But, well, they're saying, you know what, let's not gank, let's just go for 4-man team fight into the enemy jungle, and let's see if they can find anything.
Big smoke gank. They don't have their Nyx here. He hasn't shown himself bottom either. Everyone from Orange off the map, and you can tell that TongFu are very nervous and they think something's up. Net leading the way. He's got a grip. There's a blink and a lasso. They've caught Mu. But remember, King J's here. Drops the wall. Mushi falling fast. Can he get off a Centaur Stomp? Mushi's still alive, but Hao cleans him up. 1 for 1. TongFu now. Grip was stolen, and Ohio is gonna fall. Banana will be the trade. 2 for 2 still. But Hao finds another. Hao is really rocking and rolling. KYXY driven off the fight, and you just gotta wonder how much different might it have been if this Nyx Assassin was there.
Oh, Nyx Assassin not join the smoke. He did the correct thing. He didn't have a teleport scroll. He said, well, I just can't really get to my team, so let's hide. Because if he shows himself in the map, I don't think that smoke egg would have actually went off. But really good reaction from TongFu. The Darkseer, immediately after the Dragon Knight got gripped, he just surged himself forward and popped things like mech, vacuum, wall on top of everybody, and that was really much the end of the team fight. I really think that Orange, if you're focusing and trying to win team fight, you either have to doom the Darkseer or you have to grip the Darkseer, or Flaming Lasso, excuse me, because if you don't drop those disables on him, he is going to just be too much of an issues in either meching his allies or vacuuming to cancel your spells. It's too tough, too much for Orange Esports to deal with.
By the way, Orange Esports, I mentioned they can definitely take this late, but they show no signs of wanting to do so. Mushi not going for a Shadow Blade or anything that's more of a mid to late game item. It's going to be a Necro Book, yeah. So, I mean, they're kind of neutering their late game here, really focusing on the pickoffs, the pushing power, but so far they just haven't been very successful.
Lane here lifted, toss it back here. Mushi getting ganked by 4 heroes, and there's no way that Armor of Doom will allow him to survive. And we're going to see transition to a push.
He's got a lasso, but he's actually blinking away. Back behind the trees, afraid to fight. The tower starting to take some damage. Mushi, no access to buyback. They don't have their mech. They don't have Doom for this fight. It's actually cooling down. And TongFu pushing 4 on one side of the map, 1 on the other. Hao, Battle Fury coming very soon. In fact, scratch that thought, Lumi. It's up. He's gone for the Burning build, the most efficient farming build you can. And right now, Hao going to have free farm in his jungle. Orange just completely reacting. The team that wants to gank is getting ganked.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to the item choices by Orange Esports. Mushi getting for a mech and not really utilizing that mech. I mean, that was the first big engagement they had, aside from the backstab gank.
And he just got picked.
Right,
so.
He just got killed before. I'm not even sure whether he popped the mech, but their item choices are really limiting their playstyle. And TongFu is reacting perfectly to say, you know what, you're not ganking us. We're going to just split 4 and then have our anti-mage farm top. Or 4 heroes that's going to aggressively push your towers, aggressively draw team fights. Meanwhile, anti-mage is going to just do his thing up top. Your standard 4 protect 1 from TongFu.
Yeah, and it is something of a dual core lineup as well, because this Dragon Knight is going for a Shadow Blade. So if it goes late, Mu will be the secondary source of physical damage. RNG Sports, there are heroes which at a certain point in this game could just be food. I mean, you look at KYXY, Treads, Reign of Aquila, nowhere near Lincoln Sphere, nowhere near anything that's going to scale too hard in the late game. They've got a lot of great single target lockdown, but where my concern is where is the damage for them? They don't have any physical damage to speak of, and if you go late enough and Dragon Knight gets a BKB, sure you can doom him, it will go through BKB, it's universal damage, but a Dragon Knight gets tanky enough, you're not going to kill him just with doom.
Ned is...
Not to mention the anti-mage.
Ned is in an awkward position. Yeah, he's forced to TP out from this tower. So TongFu gets a tier 1 tower, forces a TP, and I think they could be able to defend their tier 1 as well. There's Glyph available, and here comes a rotation from our Rubik player. Rubik, by the way, has stolen Devour quite a bit now, so he's been earning a little bit extra gold. I think,
wow.
Where's the Batrider? Is he looking for a jump? Yes, he is, but Banana, I think he senses it. Oh, Banana.
Yeah, he's close, but he doesn't have a 4 staff. Leaping to the tier 2 is a surefire way to draw some TP reactions and maybe even die. Stolen Devour. Banana can earn some extra gold here. Let's see. Not you choosing to use the ad. Looks like he wants to take a neutral and go for more of a gank.
I mean, if Banana lifts somebody up, toss him back, and Centaur stomps, I'm going to lose it because...
That's pretty amazing. Imagine if there's a vacuum into that. Oh, man. It's only a level 2 vacuum. Prepare your bodies, because this could be amazing.
I also think he just forgot about it, because he's just not...
He's just chilling there.
Yeah.
Well,
losing that value, man.
Banana, you're killing my buzz, man. Come on now. RNG Sports definitely on the back foot, trailing by 5k gold, and it's only going to get worse from here. Ancients could start getting stacked soon. They're leading by 4k experience. RNG Sports completely focused on mid-game pushing items, team fight items, not split push, not ganking oriented, not farming oriented, and now Hao up to 2.3k gold. It feels to me like Orange, if they don't force fights, just flat out lose. And right now, not forcing fights.
And of course, we do see Hao actually respecting the push power coming out from Orange, saying, you know what, they're getting pushing items. Let's get a little bit more defensive items as well. He's going for Vlad's, which is mid lane.
There's a lift here, though. Banana not using the lift, ran the other way. Now Sang Sheng pulled in, but look for the familiar stuns, not coming out just yet. They actually are cooling down. Now a stun on Mushi. Mushi locked with the wall. He's got the mech. He needs to pop it. Gets it. Now a grip. Holding Mu in place, but Hao's joined the fight. He's got a Vlad's. Impale. Catches 2. Orange in a headlong retreat. They only kill a Visage, but they do retreat out safely.
Oh man, they're so lucky that Hao did not make the instant TP because if he was there, especially the fact that he didn't have Vlad's either, if he was there, he would have been able to do a ton of damage. Again, a team fight where they need to focus Darkseer. King J was able to just surge in, drop everything he had. Now, they didn't have the lockdown power and the follow-up power to really get those kills, but they cannot ignore King J like he's being ignored so far.
Yeah, and also Banana didn't. I don't think lift was cooling down. I didn't get a chance to check, but did not lift when the Batrider jumped in. It really could have gone poorly for Orange. To be honest, like you said, lucky to get out with a kill and not lose anyone. They do have their Necro 1-up. I mean, it's a very strong mid-game item for the cost. Necronomicon is. It gives you a lot of damage. It's just if the game goes on another 10 to 15 minutes, then it starts to sort of peter out, and it's not as effective as something like a Shadow Blade into an AC could be. But for the time being, RNG Esports, they've got Lasso cooling down soon. They still have Doom. Let's see if they can force another fight.
Yeah, for those of you guys that are not familiar with the Necromonicon, because I don't think we have seen that item a lot in this particular tournament, it does like 1,000,000,001 things. So let's quickly just list them down. It mono burns, it passively attacks, and also mono burns. It gives you True Sight if you max it out. It gives you a ton of movement speed and attack speed. And the cool synergy with that, with Doom, is because of Scourge Earth also give him some movement speed, you basically have like 2 little demons riding on a wave of flames with the big demon, so that's also pretty cool to watch. It's a good chasing item. It's a good HP item. Of course, if those dies, they also do a ton of true, pure damage. Yeah, I know the list is long, and it's a very hard item to actually kind of pin down. We don't see it much because it just doesn't give you enough of anything. But Mushi's going to be going for this game.
Sometimes it's a jack of all trades and master of none, and in this game it might be. We'll have to see. But now, again, TongFu, they don't need to force fights. They can just keep on pushing the top lane, farming the jungle with Hao, and defend mid with 4. Until Orange takes this or wins a fight, TongFu continue to pull ahead bit by bit, but they do it faster and faster now as Hao is up to 173 CS. Remember, they aggressive tri-laned against him, but it really doesn't feel like it with the level of farm Hao has now.
Yeah, he's got like a 15-minute Battle Fury treads and a Quelling Blade, and a
Vlad's. And the thing is, if they want, they can go Roche if they win a fight.
Right, he's not died yet, and to be honest, he's not afraid of a gank, because who's really going to gank him? Sure, you have a Nyx Assassin on their side, but he's sorely under level. He's not going to get a solo kill. You have a Doombringer who doesn't have a Shadow Blade, so the kill attempt is not there either.
They find Hao in the jungle. Can they kill him off, though? He's very tanky. They go for KJ. Lasso's in. Now he's mono burn. He's dropping past to Vendetta. From the backside comes the reinforcements. Hao leaping forward. Gets Carapace done. Now Vendetta's there. A chaotic fight. There's Doom on Mu. He can't use his DD or Shadow Blade. There's familiar stuns, though. Doing good work. Grip on Hao. But Net's going to fall. Stolen by Banana. Can he throw it the other way? He's low. He's dead. They get another kill. 3 to fall. But Hao is cleaning house. Mushi dead. Could be 3. No, enfeebled up. Slowed down. Sangsheng dead as well. 4 to fall. But Hao still stands. Now he blinks away. Massive victory there for Orange.
Look at the difference. If you focus Darkseer in the beginning, you Flame Lasso, you burst him down with your Mono Burn Impale. Look at the difference, because there's no vacuum, there's no wall, and more importantly, there's no mech. The team fight just completely goes the other way as Orange Esports easily stomps for a kill and now gets a tier 1. You gotta focus King J. They did in that team fight, and was a huge and easy victory.
At the same time, Hao now has a Yasha. I mean, this guy's not struggling for farm. He'll blink into the Roche pit, and now he's going to try a Ninja Roche. Anti-Mage, I believe he can solo him.
Definitely can.
Unless you get really unlucky with the bashes. And
it helps his switch your power treads to agility to get a little bit more damage. And
yeah, Hao probably communicating with his team right now. KYXY heading to the bottom room. There's a regen here. And Hao.
Roshan's just having none of it. Like, these bashes are like, get off me.
Yeah, the Earn Charge will not be canceled by Roche. Hao continues to heal up. TongFu are going to pull a fast one on RNG Esports. Orange, this will be very disappointing. They took a convincing fight mid, but with the Roche going TongFu's way, I'd actually say it's very even over the past few minutes, maybe even favoring TongFu.
I mean, you lost a tier 1 tower. Those are kind of your freebies even, so yeah, I think it definitely favors.
And Roche has fallen. Hao picks it up. Good luck ganking him now. You'll have to throw a whole lot to kill him off. I mean, that was the perfect fight for Orange, right? They got off nearly a full duration Fiend's Grip. They doomed a double damage Shadow Blade DK before he popped Dragon Form, so he couldn't do anything. They completely locked down and blew up the Darkseer in front. And that fight was still hard for them. And that was with the anti-mage showing up a little bit after it started and not having his next set of items, not having Manta. The next fight for Orange is going to be a lot harder. So it was a nice fight for them, but it doesn't seem like nearly enough right now.
Yeah, they need a little bit more tower gold. They haven't, aside from that mid tower, that was the first.
Banana. He's stolen Vendetta.
Dire
Well,
structures are fortified.
when you need an upgrade from Sakuchi, I guess Vendetta is a okay choice.
Yeah,
They do different. They do very different things though.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's impressive there is not the spell steal, but just the warding game. Because again, oh, they're going in bottom lane. Mushi caught out. Dragon Tail's there, and he's just gonna melt a Hao. Completely unnecessary Mono Void, but hey, a kill's a kill, Lumi. Now a killing's free for Hao. 24 minutes in, TongFu gaining a lot of momentum.
That's some kills secure. I mean, definitely necessary. They're gonna get a tier 2 tower out of this as well. Oh,
Link. Lasso on Mu. Hao's pretty low, not dropping just yet. Remember, he's got Aegis, they'll impale Mu as well. Blinking forward is Hao. He's gonna drop once. Is there follow-up here? Grip was used on the Dragon Knight. They need some more lockdown. Can they pick Hao off? No, he can't. He's slept. Look for the impale. Look for the follow-up nukes. Mushi's still dead. Impale to fly. He's dropping fast. He's gonna fall!
Oh my goodness!
Wow, Hao throwing away an Aegis, throwing away his own life again. Really feeling confident, and too confident. Orange able to punish it.
When the initiation went on the Dragon Knight, the lasso and Fiend Script was used on it. It was just a free ride home for Anti-Mage. In fact, he could have blinked out, but he blinked back in, thought he could have done the damage. Keep in mind that he had no Mana Void there. But I think Ned made huge play there. Keep in mind that his Brain Sap, it deals pure damage, so your Mana Shield does not do anything for Anti-Mage, so that's why they were able to bring him down so very quickly.
Yeah, and the thing for TongFu is they should have the late game edge, but Orange definitely have the pick-off advantage even if this game goes late, unless Rubik's stealing massive spells. Right now he's got Vendetta, which is good for Banana. It's not the best. Like you said, Sakuchi probably the best choice, or maybe even Doom for him. And Orange, they do have some late game. Well, there's a linkage on KYXY, so Mu cannot solo kill him.
Just a chop into a little bit of flame breath grass. Okay.
Yeah, and if it goes late, you know, Doom can eat an Alpha Wolf. Mushi can go back for an Assault Cuirass. He can go back for damage items. Orange do have some late game. They've definitely got the superior late game lockdown.
They do at the same time, though. Like, Anti-Mage is working with 6 slots, and you're working with, like, 4.5, because Mech and Necrobooks are not exactly your ultra late game.
It's not ideal.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. So.
They're going to have to make an awkward transition into late game. They're still close in terms of gold, in terms of experience. Very impressive considering how this game started. They gave up First Blood to the Anti-Mage. They gave up free farm on the top lane. They gave up a Roshan as well. They only took a tier 1. Scores 10-9. They're down not that much. I mean, it's a decent amount. It's not as overwhelming as it could be. But here comes Banana. Vendono's up, and he's going to find Extinct. Lifted up. Can he Carapace in time? Dragon Tail's there. Caught mid-throw. No chance to use a spell. Fantastic chain stun. TongFu, 10-10 now. Give them a lead, and they're going to force a fight mid. Manta style, not yet up, coming soon. The tier 1 mid will fall, and Orange will look for a trade. They take a tier 1 top of their own, but advantage clearly to TongFu there.
TongFu push way quicker with their Vlads. They don't really care about the damage that the creep waves is sustaining. Here comes the entire TP back from, Blink initiation from Ohio, but he has to force back.
Didn't quite have it. Mushi now, he's got a Necro 3. I mean, this is a stage of the game where Doom is very scary in the fight. Orange, they'd love to keep on forcing them. There's no Aegis on TongFu. The next Roche, TongFu will have the edge there because of their superior split push, but can they force those fights? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is looking really poorly for Orange Esports because you have the defensive team TongFu, who has clearly better late game just, by standard play. They're actually aggressively ganking with things like Sakuchi Lift, with things like your Dragon Knight, who is Shadow Blade game for a stun. It's very tough to play against that playstyle if you are the one that's aggressively looking for kills. Because if you're roaming into enemy jungle and suddenly you see an Invis DK coming out, it's tough.
Oh, they know Hao's at the Ancients. Their jungle's empty, but they're not going to catch him in time. His illusion scouting out through the river. He's actually using one to pull the wave. Instead, they found an illusion. Mu has pulled a fast one on Orange, sends it into the river, and they fully take the bait. Lasso down. TongFu will simply back off.
Yeah, and of course that tier 1 tower as a result would survive quite a bit. These birds are going to get killed. I mean, that's just great carry play by Hao. Scouting with illusions and making it look like he's roaming through the river. Orange, they just got a little bit too jumpy there. Well, they're going to still try to siege this tower without Flaming Lasso. I really don't think you can do it without waiting for 40 seconds, basically. But here comes TongFu. They're saying, you don't have your ults. Let's play a little bit aggressive. Let's see if we can find something. Yeah, I think Orange is somewhat reliant on the element of surprise as well. Because TongFu have a Darkseer, and I look at Orange, and I don't really see a single great AoE hero on their team. So to me, Orange needs to get the jump. They don't have one right now. We do see Hao scouting out behind where the tier 1 tower once stood. Now I'll clear out the wave, and TongFu will look to push in the bottom lane.
28 minutes in, score 10-10. TongFu leading, and now getting aggressive, farming the enemy jungle, really limiting what Orange can get off the map. Orange want to engage. Is there a gem? There's not. Blinking towards the anti-mage. The trap has been sprung, perhaps. KYXY. Sakuchi up. Extinct. Hunting. Will they engage? Not just yet. Moo. Blink. Lasso. They've caught the Dragon Knight. Impale on two. Carapace as well. King Jae's been doomed. On the run, but Mushi's down. Can TongFu stand strong? Grip on King Jae. He'll take a spill. Banana as well. 2 for 1. But can they deal with the anti-mage? That's the question. Hunting. Hal has found 3. And TongFu getting the best of Orange here. Are not done yet. Blinking and slamming. Here he goes. KYXY held in place. Dragon Tail. No, he gets out. But will he live, Lumi? It's looking dire.
So Assumption's gonna come through, and Lincoln Spirit blocks it. He still got Sakuchi 1 second, but the Manta style from Hal.
Brilliant carry play.
Oh my goodness.
You know, the natural reaction is just to blink and right-click him, but with the Manta there was no Sakuchi in time. TongFu with a huge victory, now leading 14-12, backs against the wall. Their tournament lives at stake. Well, they've done it, Lumi. They've taken a huge fight. Roshan number 2, not too far off. It's starting to feel like the chokehold is in. Orange are running out of options.
Yeah, they definitely are. Again, good team fight for Orange Esports. The way they started, you lasso the Dragon. That was a 3-man impale by our Nyx Assassin player. You even doomed the Darkster, so he was useless in that team fight. But TongFu picked up way too much item. In fact, if you look at the Darkster, he's picked up a BKB, which I think perhaps is maybe not the best item choice in this case. Because
I kind of like it because it means.
I mean, if you get doomed, which is.
Yeah, there is Doom, there is Fiend's Grip, there's Lasso, but at the same time, there's also Impale, there's also the Sleep. And if he BKBs and just runs it and they have to blow those spells on him, they're not using them on anyone else, and then your anti-mage runs rampant.
Yeah, he is by far the high priority target, regardless.
And if he goes for a Lincoln Sphere next, then he's looking very hard to kill.
Mood's gonna, actually, he has no mana to get away. What a stomp from his Centaur. Let's see if he can make it away from here. He does.
That is his. That's not a neutral, guys. That's his Centaur. Great micro from Moo, the solo mid. Now Hal, looking for another kill. Ohio on the run. He's got a 4-staff and a gem. He cannot die here. He'll TP away to safety. But TongFu just, I mean, you can see their heroes are much better equipped to fight. Orange, they send 3 in, and they have to run from just Hal.
I mean, I don't think they could deal with Hal at this point here. He's got 4K go, despite going for Vlad's second, which is definitely not an insane farming item like Yasha is. So once he picks up like a BKB or Heart, whatever he wants, he is going to be such a fearsome force in the front line. Or he could just rather pick up Aegis. That's a pretty good item, I heard.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the BKB for King Jae as well, which just occurred to me, is it protects you against Carapace, because you have a lot of AoE.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think just for that, it's a decent pickup here. TongFu, grouped up near the Roshan pit. Roche is coming soon, and they just have such a positional advantage for taking this Roche, because they have the better split push. The lanes are pushing against Orange. Hal can go in and solo Roche while the rest of the team sits back, and Orange will be forced into a fight. But TongFu, they'll want to get a kill here first. They're smoked up, and they're heading through the river. Orange Esports very well could be caught completely off guard.
We'll see if it works. Generally, smoking during nightfall into the enemy jungle when you don't have too much vision, like when you don't have a Beastmaster Hawk or anything like that, it's tough to find kills, but well, I guess when you have Shadowblade and Surge, maybe not. They don't find anybody though.
Roche up in 1 minute. They've cleared the enemy jungle. They're going to plot a course through the upper ramp. No, they're not going to take it. Hal leading the way. Will he go in? He will? No, the Necronomicon Warrior scouting him out now.
Oh, it gets converted here. That's one of the things that's why we don't see Necrobook as much in the professional game, because it's very easy for Mu just to pick up a helm and says, thank you for spending 5k gold on an item, and I'll take half of it.
Here we go. Here we go. It's time to fight for Orange. Ohio, Firefly up, looking to leap. Who's he going to go on? He's not jumping yet. Someone can catch him here. He's got to go soon. He gets Dragon-tailed as he gets 4-stepped away. Now Mu, gripped up, held in position, but in the middle of the fight, there's a vacuum. There's a wall as well. KYXY trying to duke it out. Can they kill the Dragon Knight? They do. Doom was stolen. It goes the other way. But Nana, what a player. What a hero. Net on the run, trying to live. He'll sleep the anti-mage. He keeps on running, but there's a lift. There's a lift. Banana, Net's gonna live, maybe not. How? There's your Mana Void, dunks him 2-1. They do lose their DK, but totally worth it for TongFu, and now the way lies open to the next Roche. There will be no way for Orange to fight this.
Okay, I just want to say that entire team fight, Hal was doomed, and he did not run. He just was like, all right, I'm doomed. I'm going to right-click you regardless. And I think that's just a horrible sign for Orange. If the enemy carry is Doom and he's just taking man fights against you, what do? There's just no real way to actually deal with this. Your Fiend's Grip is not reliable because there's things like Vacuum. There's a whole bunch of ways for the enemy team to cancel it. And your Flaming Lasso, you could actually stun him for 2.5 seconds, but he's not going to die during that duration either. I think Orange, unless they do something absolutely amazing or crazy, there's just no way.
They do get some more physical damage down the Weaver, but yeah, it's just a totally different level of item progression for TongFu. Hao's not going for a heart. He's not going for the mid-tier items. He's going for the big ones. And the other thing is, I mean, they got off a full duration Fiend's Grip. They got, like, the perfect lockdown on Dragon Knight. And they only killed Dragon Knight. They didn't scratch the anti-mage. The Darkseer was free to do his thing in the middle of the fight. And then Doom was stolen by Banana. He's been making big plays this game. Fantastic support work. And now we're going to see a blink into the pit right past the Batrider. Lasso's there, but Hao,
right.
Will he be an easy kill? They've got no Doom. They impale him, but the Familiars stunning through. The support play, will it be enough? Gripped, backed into the wall. The anti-mage gonna live. Hao is unkillable. And now Mu comes in. Say hello to the dragon. He's on the chase. How does he do it? He wants to fight. No, he's gonna fall. He does die 2 for 1. The stolen Doom used again. And KYXY is dead to rights.
Oh my goodness.
These supports of TongFu, those familiar stunts in the middle of the fight, the back onto the high ground. One more will fall. TongFu is striking back with a vengeance. And now Roche really should be theirs.
I just want to say that 2 deaths that Anti-Mage had this game is... He didn't need to have those 2 deaths, but...
Yeah, it hasn't been Hao's best game.
Right.
It's been a good game, though.
You saw in that engagement, he was focused by 5 heroes with Fiend's Grip, with Flaming Lasso, and he just doesn't die. What does Orange do against this?
They actually didn't get Doom off in that fight. It looks like Mushi
It was on cooldown, I think.
Yeah, it was on cooldown for 7 seconds, and he just died before even releasing it. Now the age is going to TongFu. I wonder if they'll leave it for Hao, because he is the ideal candidate. Dragon Knight's not the best, but hey...
He doesn't need it.
Like you said, he doesn't need it.
So you give it to Dragon Knight, and suddenly, what do you deal with?
A big victory for TongFu. In Game 2, they need a win, and it looks like they're well on their way to one. Leading by 12k gold, leading by 17k experience, and one big push away from taking this game and forcing a Game 3.
So I think Orange, even though they're so far behind, there are something to fight for here. If you get multiple Scythe of Ice, and hopefully your Weaver could actually carry up with the damage output, and I'm talking about things like Desolator, Daedalus, and perhaps maybe even Divine. They need insane damage and insane amount of crowd control to take this game back. But you have Doom, which is a great farmer. You get a Scythe of Ice. You get Batrider, a great initiator. I think Orange should angle for the ultra late game. I'm talking about 40 minutes later, but they have to win or survive or dodge every single team fight up to that point.
And if you're TongFu, once Hao gets his next item, probably a Butterfly, maybe even before it, because by the time he has it, this Aegis will pretty much be up. They're going to go for a fight. At most, they'll wait one more Roche, and they also do have more room to grow. Your Dragon Knight can get a Satanic, he can remove his bottle, and he can go for an Assault Cuirass, he can go for a Daedalus, another big damage item. So it's not as though TongFu are done progressing on all their heroes. Like you said, it's got to be ultra late game, not just late game, like 50, 60 minutes, but maybe even more than that. And the other thing is, when Hao gets that big, and you're up against the Shadowblade Dragon Knight as well, your ability to find the farm is really limited. And in order to reach the late game, you got to find the farm.
Nice pick off here. A couple of birds goes to KYXY. They cannot defend this tower. There's a double damage rune on Mu right now.
And he's just jumping in on KYXY. Won't kill him off, but drives him off. One more outer tower falls, and TongFu are one big push away still. It feels like they're just about to go. They're getting more and more aggressive. You can sense their confidence building. Banana, nothing stolen now, but I just got to give this man a shout out because he has stolen everything big this game. Fiend's Grip, Doom, Sakuchi, Vendetta. You can't. Lasso's the only one he hasn't taken yet, but heck, he's almost got a Blink Dagger. This has been one of the most impressive support Rubik performances for me of the International, and it's coming in one of the biggest games yet.
Well, let's see if TongFu could push down for a Rax. Once they get 1 or 2 Rax, I think Orange Esport might just GG out. Here comes a Blink Dagger Doom, so I guess you...
This is so much...
He's got a Poison Creep.
This is so much better when you have Stomp, which he doesn't right now.
He's not going to get Stomp, because how do you leave the base?
Mu says, come at me. He's got a DD road. He's not popping it yet. Enfeeble is in. He's not really doing much to the tower, but Hao will soon. They're waiting for the next wave. There's an Ion Shell on Hao. He's not popping Manta yet. He'll just start to Siege, hanging on for now. Now, the Lincolns of KYXY broken. They blink in. Ohio wanted to lasso, but he can't. And now Banana pushing in the other way, wanted to make a jump of his own. Both teams Well, they're testing the waters. Nobody engaging yet. Familiar stuns come through. The tower really starting to take down quickly. Mu, DD Dragon, very scary. Proceed with caution if you're orange. And TongFu, they'll wait for one more wave. Aegis 3 minutes to go. Are they going to leave yet? How? Maybe looking at the Ancients, but no. They're going to come right back down mid. Round 2. Fight. Here we go.
Firefly out for 10 seconds. That's a big part of your base defense. Force staff forward. No stun just yet. He knows there's a Lincoln. Force staff here.
Great force staffs from Orange as well. Mushi leaping in. He's Doom How, but How is just not even dropping. The first one down is your Nick. They popped an array of BKBs. KYXY time-lapsing out. Orange doing everything they can to hang on. There's your Blink Dagger for Rubik. KYXY heading to the win. An anti-mage, sure, he can't cast spells, but he doesn't take damage. The spell shield here is really doing work. And now the tier 3 mid is falling. TongFu, 39 minutes in, looking to claim their first lane of Rex. Orange struggling to find any kind of response.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give up this Rex. There's no way they can get too much done here, although Firefly is...
There's still an Aegis. There's no level 3 dragon form. It is cooling down. It's so hard to fight this, though. It really is. There's no Doom. I don't think they can do it, Lumi.
They're still defending. Here comes the jump, and they're going to pull him back. He's half HP, but he's got the Aegis, so it's not really a meaningful kill. Meanwhile, you see Anti-Mage got to focus on Rex. No, he's going to back off.
BKB is cooling down. He's got a Shadow Blade up. He gets grip. How is here? Mono Void quickly used on that, canceling the grip, and now in comes Extinct Impale on 2. King J dropping, but How still at full HP. Impale was stolen. It was stolen again. What a play by Banana. Turns it around. They pick one off, but they haven't broken Orange yet. KYXY hanging on for now by a wing, a hope, and a prayer. He's found a double kill. Still standing. How stopping a hit hunt. At long last, 3 heroes dead. They've taken the Rex. A BKB trying to keep your Dragon Knight alive. A fall. Give him a triple. KYXY making something out of nothing. All of a sudden, 1.4k gold up. He did have to buy back for this, but Orange have lost their first lane of Rex.
Oh man, that looked way harder for TongFu. There was too much diving for my liking to go into the base. They were chasing the Bane for too long. Anti-Mage wasn't actually focusing on the exposed Rex. He was also chasing with his friend with his friend Dragon Knight. So I think Orange Esports fought a very well-coordinated team fight. They were able to pick off and focus fire a lot of heroes. TongFu got to step it up, even though they're up 1 Rex. I don't think Orange Esports is giving up just yet. KYXY, you see how dangerous he can be if you leave him alone, and he definitely was left alone for far too long in that team fight.
At the same time, they're now down a lane of Rex. Roshan up in 5 minutes, and I believe this is Roche number 3, right? So that will be Aegis as well as Cheese. Maybe it's 2. But either way, they can get the next Roche. They'll have the map control for it. Orange Esports, if they want to contest, will really have to force it. The good news is Mushi has Centaur Stop now, so he's got some additional lockdown.
He doesn't have Envenom weapons or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah. Generally, I mean, you want to keep on using Devour, right? So it's on cooldown, but you want to try and eat creeps that don't have abilities, because every time you eat one, it replaces the ability you currently have. Well. The thing, though, is now Hao's got another item. He's about to have Butterfly, or an Abyssal Blade. It's up to him, and either way, his ability to push and find kills gets a lot stronger here.
Hao's about to snipe a courier, and if this courier buys anything big,
there's a ward here as well, so they really will tell.
They saw it going back.
Demon Edge. Well, KYXY probably going for an MKB here, because generally an anti-mage at this point with these items will go into a Butterfly. So Demon Edge up. I mean, there is a slight chance it could be a Rapier, but pretty unlikely.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be bad choice. I mean, I don't see them winning any team fights without insane amount of damage output, and that could be it. We saw how long KYXY survived. At the same time, though, he did die in that team fight, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did have to buy back. I mean, he got the triple kill, then he lived. Meanwhile, TongFu smoked up. There hasn't been much item progression on anyone else as far as the Dragon Knight goes, at least. He's only sitting on a Hyperstone. He hasn't gotten Assault Cuirass yet. King J, his progression has slowed down. The Blink Dagger's been acquired. He had it earlier as well. Now an Axe for Sungshung. It's decent, but it's not insane. They are leading by 20k gold, just under 20k experience. They're clearly in control of this game. They haven't won it just yet, though. The Butterfly is available. It can be purchased. It looks like Hao just wants his buyback first, and then he'll pick it up. And at that point, I think that's going to be the go time for TongFu. One more Roche, and then they go for it.
Now, Orange is definitely doing a very good job of preparing before the, I guess, what could be the final push. They're making sure that every wave is pushed out. Judging from how the last team fight went, these team fights do tend to last very long. And when those long team fights are happening, you don't want to be losing buildings to that mid-bigger creep wave. So they're pushing out everything as hard as they can and trying to buy as much time as they can. I mean, KYXY is actually successfully split pushing. If he gets that, no, he's going to TP back.
Yeah, it's just so dangerous to do this up against the Shadow Blade DK, and also just being in the dark, which you can see. I mean, they've got Orange actually has good vision considering their position, not having any outer towers, but it's not great vision by any means. TongFu, they're the ones who know what's going on. For them, 2 lanes are heavily pushed towards the enemy base. The bottom lane at the base, the mid lane towards it, past the river. So they can farm safely in the enemy jungle. How has the Butterfly, I think he's just about got buyback as well. His reliable gold is pretty high here, so she'll be able to pick a Butterfly up and still have buyback if he needs it. The only thing he doesn't have is Boots of Travel buyback, but I think by the time the next Roche is up, he will.
Yeah, we're definitely angling for ultra late game, and let's actually check out if there's any big item progression. Mushi has picked up an Ogre Club, but then he has went back for the Blink Dagger, so I'm not sure if he's thinking about BKB. How do you feel if BKB does it do anything here?
I mean, I almost would say Ags, because I guess you could go for a Heaven's Halberd, but there's a Dragonite as well as an Anti-Mage. Both of them hurt a lot, so I don't know that it'll be the most effective item.
I mean, Heaven's Halberd at the same time is very similar to an Acceptor, right? You're just upgrading away or getting away to deal with a single target unit.
Yeah, in theory, the way that Doom's Ags works, for anyone who's wondering, is as long as you're near your target, it doesn't tick down.
Right.
So it can go forever, but the problem is I don't think Mushi is tanky enough to just stand in the middle of the fight forever.
Yeah, and I don't think Hal cares. If he's Doom, he's going to right-click you.
Yeah, he's still going to be doing a lot of damage.
Right. And I think that really the consideration is, do you want to give an Ags Doom to Banana? Because, I don't know, man.
The way he's been playing, he's going to steal it. Now he's got Blink and Force, and when you have this level of items on a support Rubik, stealing any spell is so much easier.
And BKB could be a decent choice as well, because there is a lot of kind of burst damage. There are kind of a lot of nukes that he's dealing with. But just neither of these 2 items are any of your big ultra late game carry items, so I'm not too sure.
We'll have to wait and see. It's been very much a utility Doom for Mushi. It seems like their goal is for KYXY to be the primary carry. And he definitely could be if Mushi had the Aura, if he had an Assault Cuirass, and if KYXY had more items. I think maybe they could stand toe-to-toe against an Anti-Mage and a Dragon Knight, but especially if they were ahead an item or 2, but they're behind. And now a smoke from Orange Esports. 45 minutes in, Roshan coming soon. Orange are looking to find a pick-off. Here we go.
Yeah, we're not counting them out yet, but there's a 20,000 goal lead, 20,000 experience lead for TongFu. They gotta find a beautiful pick. Roshan's back. If they find a pick, get Roshan, then we have ourselves a game. KYXY cannot die in these engagements. You gotta get the perfect initiation. But I mean, TongFu, they know. They will see these Troys being destroyed, and they will see a Bat Rider coming out.
Yeah, the ping's coming out from both teams, and it looks like Shang, the one hero who's a bit far out, but he's got a flock of familiars scouting things out. They will be micro. Nothing going to Orange. The smoke will fail. Will they continue to fight? If they sit here for long, then the mid lane pushes in, and the tier 4s will start to take some damage. Roche now up in Mizrune for Mushi. Not going to help you too much at this point in the game. There's a gem on Shang, and in they go. The Necro minion has been stolen. And now Mushi caught on the high ground. Ohio, though, lassoing move, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's a back, there's a wall. Net on the run. Now Hal leaping forward, and our Orange Esports just have nothing left. Driven back, a buyback from Mushi, but Hao is unstoppable right now. Nobody can scratch him. Roche is open. Mushi buying back, but you've used Lasso. You have no position to fight this. The Aegis is going to TongFu. The cheese is as well, and with that, it might very well be GG. Yeah,
Mushi walking up a hill like that without too much sight. I mean, they knew the enemy team was there. His Necro Minion was stolen, so I guess he was trying to get a very offensive Doom, but at the same time, the initiation and the counter initiation for TongFu was just too impressive, and he died without even popping his mech.
Yeah, that was amazing counter initiation. I mean, King J blinked in, dropped the wall in the middle of the river. He vacked 3 in. Sure, they weren't like stunned within it, and they just ran away, but it meant they couldn't fight anymore. They couldn't fight near the pit, so Roche was free for TongFu. And that's, I think it's fine that, like, I think Mushi does need to do that. They have to get the jump on TongFu. If TongFu get off their key spells, the back, the wall, a Dragon Tail or 2, then the fight's over for Orange with the level of farm that Hao and Mu have. But, I mean, it's near the Roche pit. When TongFu is the map control, they're sitting on the hill. Getting the right position and the initiation, nearly impossible. TongFu is playing really well.
Yeah, they are. Well, here comes what could be the final push. Mu does have the cheese, so if there is a person perhaps you want to doom and focus, he could be the one.
You've got a damage item on KYXY. He does have an MKB, but, well, can he actually use that in these fights? If Hal catches him, if he gets lifted or stunned, if the Lincoln Sphere is broken, it just takes 1 stun, some auto attacks from the illusions, and then a Mana Void, and he will fall.
Yeah. I mean, look at these anti-mage illusions. It's driving by like half the team of Orange Esports.
They are enfeebling illusions. I mean, that's how much damage they're already doing to the tower. TongFu says, we'll kill you death by 1,000 cuts. We don't need to force a fight.
King J also have the Aegis on him, so focusing on the Darkseer is also not an option anymore. There's just too much of TongFu. They want to go on the anti-mage. Can you bring him down? Back wall on top of everybody. The mech goes back up here, and Orange Esports is just melting.
So much destruction. TongFu annihilating Orange. 3-4. Game 2 in the books. TongFu have struck back, and the last hope for Chinese Dota stands. Can TongFu win Game 3? Orange, they look magnificent in Game 1, but TongFu have answered the call. We now go to a deciding Game 3.
I think the game was really decided when Mushi decided to go mech and didn't really use that mech in a very, very offensive way, but TongFu will take that victory, and we're going to Game 3. We'll see how well they play in Orange. Let's see if they can make that bounce back. But we'll send it back to James and the boys outside.
Welcome back to the panel. Yeah, I think Lumi said it right. Just the item choices on Doom. Okay, firstly, let's congratulate TongFu bringing it back to 1-1. It wouldn't be the international unless we had a tied-up game on the last game of the day. So 1-1, TongFu are still in the tournament and still get a chance to replay Na'Vi in the lower bracket finals. So the item choices on Doom, for me, this was what was particularly interesting, just because he didn't seem to offer as much as he felt maybe he wanted to, expected to, or at least, in my opinion, needed to.
This is actually something I've been struggling a bit with throughout the tournament. We've seen a lot of these Doombringers go for a support kind of build, and I don't really agree with it. I think Doom has the capability to farm as fast as an Alchemist almost. Why not just build something big on him? Why not aim for the stars instead of just going for a mechanism and stuff like that? We've seen, actually, TongFu was the team to do it the last time around with their Doombringer, and I just don't feel it's good enough for the hero's potential. I did like the Necromicon choice after he did go into a support choice anyways, but by then it was already too late. They needed that extra DPS output.
I just don't think Doom is Mushi's type of hero. He loves playing aggressively. He's like famous on his Windrunner. He played Ursa and Sven to great effect, and then earlier in the series, and he's just too cooldown dependent. Doesn't really give enough lockdown. I mean, sure he has Doom, but you really want to just chain summon death. You don't want to have to rely on Doom to take down the anti-mage. Anti-mage just got too much farm. Look at his items at the end. Battle Fury, Manta. He had Vlad for the early Roshan, Butterfly. He was just impossible to take down, along with his heart at the end. And here we see KYX.
Yeah, Nicholas Manta style just comes off, blinks, Mantas, and picks up the Weaver there. Yeah, I have to say, the Necro, I always feel like it's a nice item, but also when you're up against a DK that's going to have Helm of the Dominator, the cooldown on Helm of the Dominator is actually less than the Necro, because you can constantly steal. And overall, you see Banana as well at the back of the team fight there with a Blink Dagger and 4-staff. He was incredible that game. And I actually felt that Mushi was like, okay, I'm going to get a Blink Dagger, either to do two things, mess up the Darkseer or mess up the Rubik. I felt like he could have stopped some of the counter initiation, because it's so dangerous when you're in a team fight and a Rubik picks up an Impel, because that's what Rubik is. Rubik is one of these heroes that when you come into a big team fight, he's able to just surprise you. The element of surprise, you know, you don't know exactly what he's going to steal, what he's going to be capable of doing, and there were a couple times when he just got a really good steal in terms of Doom or an Impel. It helped massively. It was a very scary hero to go against. So the Blink Dagger for me, what do you think that was meant to do? Was it just the Blink Dagger War Stomp combo, or was it?
I was just about to say that he kept on hanging on to his Centaur rather than a lot of people get crit strike on him with the Wolf instead, and he kept on hanging on to the Centaur. So it was just a mean to initiate. And again, I don't really like that way of playing Doom. It's super aggressive when he wants to blink in and stomp, but he doesn't really have any damage output to follow up with anyways. So it's like, who cares?
All right, and what was relevant for you here in the game, Bruno?
Well, we can see the difference between the first match and the second one. In the first, there was some logic to it in the sense that you had Darkseer to combo with the Pack, with the Sven. There was something happening, something going on. Game 2, it just seemed that they wanted to pick some strong heroes overall. They went for the Bad Rider and the Weaver, which were kind of the stars of the tournament. Doom, not a great hero. It's 3-8 in the main event so far, so sporting a very, very unfortunate winner. And I hate to see this hero on Mushi, a player that has such a high skill potential. You want him on a very mobile hero, on a hero that can actually make things happen, not on a melee carry that kind of dooms people and just walks around. So I think that Orange has to go back to this stronger initiation kind of lineups that they had in Game 1, and with that, go to victory.
I really